So this is the RVlock Compact. Since you're watching this, I probably don't need to go over all the benefits of having this type of lock on your RV. I'm not going to talk about how nice it is to lock and unlock your RV with a remote, or how awesome it is not to have to worry about keys in your pocket when you're going out for a run, swim, etc. So let's just start with the unboxing. As you can see, it comes well packaged. On top, you have a warranty card and a single page instruction manual. Next, you have a remote that can work for 2 locks if needed. Then there's a baggie with all the screws and plates you will need. And finally comes the actual lock. The keys are zip tied to it. The lock is just loosely attached, so it comes apart pretty easily. It also feels pretty hefty and well built as an initial impression. So in case you're not sure if this will fit your door, I'll give you the dimensions of the screw openings. This might help you figure out if this will fit. So the width is about 2.3 inches and the length at the longest part is about 3 inches. The shortest length is also 2 inches. The batteries are included and are accessible by removing the 2 screws seen here. Now for the install, simply remove the 4 screws that hold your original interior handle in place and remove it. Don't worry about the exterior part falling out, as the screws on the strike plate are still holding it in place. Then go ahead and remove the strike plate screws and carefully remove the exterior handle by pulling on the part furthest away from where the strike plate was. Now to put in the new one, slide the outside handle into place of your old one. Make sure the wire in the back goes through the opening. This is what it should look like from the other side. At this point, you want to attach the strike plate to the new lock. Don't tighten it fully yet. Make sure you use one of the longer screws. I accidentally used one of the short ones here and had to switch them out later. The short ones are for the door frame plate. Once that's done, take the interior part of the door handle and attach the wire. Now this part is a bit tricky. You're going to want to set the lock switch to the unlock position, and at the same time make sure the wire goes into the opening between the 2 parts. You might have to wiggle the red switch so that it goes on correctly. Once it's in place, just go ahead and loosely attach all 4 screws. At this point, you're going to have a little wiggle room to adjust the handle to make sure it's level. Once that's done, go ahead and tighten the handle and the strike plate screws. Now this is the part where some people like me run into issues. On some RVs, the strike plate that goes on the door frame is not designed to come out far enough forward to let this lock close easily. See the difference between the old one and the new one? The notch in the old one allows it to be further back from the front of the door when it closes. And this one doesn't have that notch. There are 2 ways to fix this issue. The one that I did was I cut out a bit of a notch in my door frame so I could move the plate further forward and then drilled new screw holes. But honestly, this took a bit of work. So I sat down and did some research on what other people did to handle the situation. And several people in the reviews said what they did was they flipped the strike plate around, and this allows it to be pushed further forward and allow the door to close more easily. Although this way, you will still need to drill new holes for the screws, but at least you won't need to adjust your door frame. It seems like not many people have this issue, but it is something to be aware of. Without this issue, this would have been an easy, seamless installation. The code setup was super easy. Make sure you have the physical key with you before you start. So to start, you press the 8 key and the lock button at the same time. Then type in the previous password. The default is 1234. Then type in the new password once and hit the lock button again, and then type it in a second time and hit the lock button again. You only have 10 seconds to do this, so if it doesn't work, you probably misclicked or didn't do it fast enough. Just wait a bit and try again. There's a button inside to reset the code if you forgot it. The remote setup was even easier. Flip the switch to the on position, then click the program button on the back, and then hit the lock button on the remote a couple of times, and you're all set. Also, if you're annoyed by the beeping sound, it's very easy to turn off. Just hold the 1 key for 3 to 5 seconds until it beeps twice. So aside from the slight issue with installing the plate, I'm pretty happy with it. The convenience that the RVlock brings was definitely worth the effort of installing it for me.